Welcome once again to the channel, everybody. I've been putting a lot of time into Tactics Ogre Reborn lately, and I've come up with 10 tips to help you get started. But these tips aren't just for beginners, many of these will apply to veterans as well and help you dominate on the battlefields of Valeria. So let's get started with tip number 1. When equipping your units, make sure to use a variety of weapon types, as having multiple weapon types can help you deal with the different types of armor that you might find on your opponents. If you make an attack on an enemy and it doesn't do very much damage, you can check the status of that enemy by selecting them with a cursor and see what type of armor they're wearing and what kind of resistance it has. Use this information to find one of your units that has a weapon type that will do more damage to the type of armor your enemy is wearing. When deciding what spells to equip your units with, make sure to take their natural elemental affinity into consideration. Units who use spells that have the same affinity as they do will do more damage with those spells. In fact, there doesn't seem to be any benefit to equipping a unit with spells that don't match their affinity, because elemental advantage against an enemy is based on the natural affinity of the units themselves and not the affinity of the spells. For example, a wind mage using a fire spell will do the least amount of damage. A wind mage using a wind spell will do more damage, and a wind mage using a wind spell against an enemy with earth affinity will do the most damage since air is strong against earth. The blue and green battle cards that appear during a battle are actually quite powerful. The blue cards give you a temporary bonus for the battle at hand, and the green cards give you a small permanent stat boost. The blue attack up, magic up, and crit up cards in particular are very important to grab before your enemy does, as the attack up card, for instance, increases your physical damage by 50%, and these bonuses stack, even if they are of the same type. The amount of damage a unit can output having 2 or 3 of these cards on them is ridiculous, and can make the difference in a lot of tough fights. Perhaps a less exciting, but still quite useful tip is to check you and your enemy's health bars by pressing the right stick on a controller or F4 on a keyboard or the middle mouse button on your mouse. These buttons will cycle through the health bars colored by faction, by elemental affinity, and then off again. Use this option to quickly reference where to prioritize healing or on which enemy you should focus your next attack. Most battles have a target, such as a commander, that you must defeat to win, so it isn't always necessary to defeat every enemy. In tough battles, try sending 2 or 3 of your stronger units after the enemy commander, while the rest deal with everyone else. The only real downside to this is that winning the battle early typically results in less experience points due to defeating less enemy units. Place your archers on high ground whenever possible. Having the high ground grants these units increased range and accuracy, while attacking from low ground decreases their accuracy. A good use for archers, in fact probably the best use, is as snipers to take out enemy mages, healers, and archers. You'll find that because of the heavier armor frontline units tend to wear, it can be difficult to do any meaningful damage to them with bows. However, the lightly armored backline troops are vulnerable to long-range attacks. Having your archers focus fire on that pesky enemy healer or mage and taking them out quickly can make the battle a lot easier. If you find yourself wanting to push an enemy into a red battle card, or simply to get them in range of another unit, attack using a shield instead of a weapon. Shields have a higher chance of knocking an enemy back and don't have to land a critical hit to do it. Attacking with a shield can also be a good way to limit the damage you do to an enemy if you're trying to get their health low enough to use a recruit skill on them. While I would say that generally you don't need to do much grinding, if you do find yourself grinding for a level or 2, just switch everyone in your battle party to AI control for a training battle. There's nothing to lose doing this except for equipped items, as your units may use them, but this allows you to walk away for a few minutes while the game grinds for you. Make sure to stock up on revival items like Blessing or Hallowing Stones. These always come in handy and allow you to play a little more aggressively when you know you can revive a unit. Also, since you are guaranteed at least one turn with a downed unit on their revival, you can chain revival items together and revive multiple units in a round. While some of these may go down again immediately, hopefully enough of them will still be standing after a heal or two to change the tide of battle. Well, that's all the tips I have for you for now. Hopefully these will help you develop winning strategies for the battles to come. Remember to hit that like button, as that really helps me out, and leave a comment about any tips or interesting mechanics you've noticed while playing. I'd love to hear them. Also, if you'd like to see my first impressions of Tactics Ogre, you can watch this video here. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and keep on gaming.